Hello everybody, welcome to Living Raw with Rosie. So this month is February 2015 and it is my 1 year anniversary eating raw. Yes, it actually fell on the weekend of Valentine's weekend and I wanted to do a vlog on the 14th and 15th, but I was unable to do a vlog because my husband and I were on a snowboarding trip with some friends of ours. They do not eat raw, and I didn't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable, and I didn't want to interrupt our trip with our friends, so I didn't do the vlog. But I was able to eat very successfully on our trip raw, and we actually took a flight from Florida to Phoenix, Arizona, and it's a it was a 5.5 hour flight. I prepped myself with plenty of bananas, oranges, apples, and little trays of broccoli, cauliflower, and celery, and which most of them I purchased at the airport. Once we went through security, there's a lot of little coffee shops and shops that offer fruits and vegetables, which I was very grateful for. And I took raw almond butter. I was able to dip my vegetables and my bananas in the almond butter. I kept myself very full and very hydrated with just fruits and vegetables. It was delicious. I took some tea bags and I just asked for warm water, and I had my teas during the flight. It was awesome. So once we arrived to Arizona, I spent the day with my grandchildren and we went out to happy hour with my friends. On happy hour, I had no issues. I ordered steamed veggies and grilled veggies. I had a huge plate. Most restaurants and bars have that. If it's a restaurant bar, you could order something healthy, so I had that. It wasn't raw, but as you know, I am about 75% raw. I'm not 100% raw. I'm 100% raw at home. I don't cook at all. We only turn the stove on to warm water, but for our teas, but we do not cook at all. When we go out in social settings, I do have steamed or grilled veggies, and I sometimes have fish. But other than that, I don't eat meats. I don't eat chicken. I don't eat meat, and I don't eat carbs or starches for the most part at all. And I was able to eat successfully. My grandkids enjoyed eating raw. I did a vlog with them, with my some of my grandkids. If you go back, you'll see that. And I also, if you go on my Facebook, Living Raw with Rosie, and go down the timeline, I did post pictures of the raw food, of me eating raw on the plane. Both going from Florida to Arizona and from coming back from Arizona to Florida. I did post some of those pictures. And from Arizona, we drove with our friends to Taos, New Mexico, to the ski lodge. So that was about a 7 to 8 hour trip, road trip. I think it was about 7 hour road trip. And I was able to eat successfully. Going and coming, I was able to eat raw as well, because I took, again, most of my snacks and my raw food with me. My husband enjoyed he ate practically whatever he wanted to eat. Although he does eat raw and he enjoys eating raw, but he does not eat completely raw. So the trip was successful. They would stop at Subways. They would stop at Arby's on the way down there. And on one of the stops at Subways, it was really good because they offered a chopped green salad, and you could put all the toppings that you want on it. So my husband got me the chopped green salad, and I just had bell peppers, tomatoes, onions, everything on it, and he had them put some olive oil and vinaigrette sauce with me. So I did take a picture of that and I posted it on Facebook, which is awesome that you could eat raw on these places. We did stop at Arby's once. There was nothing there for me. So luckily I had a tub of organic spinach salad. I had a lemon with me, and I had a little pack of olive oil, and I was able to put that in there. And I had a little package of Mrs. Dash seasoning, and I put that, and I ate my salad, and it was so delicious. I also had celery sticks and raw almond butter. That raw almond butter and the veggie sticks practically saved my life on the road trip. So being prepared is very, very important. On a ski lodge where we stayed, I had no issues eating raw because most of the restaurants and cafes up there actually had spinach salads. So I just ordered them with vinaigrettes and balsamic dressings, and they had pine nuts in them. Sometimes they had strawberries, walnuts, pecans. It was great. So I ate delicious spinach salads, and once in a while I would order steamed broccoli with it, or asparagus, which was delicious. Let's see. So the ski lodge was perfect. There was also a coffee shop at the ski lodge that did fresh pressed juices. So I actually had carrot juice. They offered green juices, which was awesome. Even though the weather was cold, I was able to eat that. In our room, I had my teas, and I would do mono meals of oranges or mono meals of bananas. So it worked out wonderful for me, and it was a successful trip. Now, 1 year anniversary eating raw has been awesome. About a year ago, I'm going to tell you the things that I've noticed, the difference within the year of me eating raw. A year ago in February, I had a lot of skin issues. I had breakouts around my mouth. I had breakouts on my forehead all the time. And since it's already been a year, I don't remember the last time I had a breakout. And if I go back and I see my skin in pictures and videos back then, I could see the difference, and I could see how my skin has improved. I think due to the minerals and the vitamins that I get from my fruits and vegetables. So big improvement in my skin. I also started using, I've been using for about 6 months coconut oil to remove all my makeup every night. I thought my skin is oily, so, and it would always be shining. I thought, oh my God, coconut oil is only going to make me break out more. But it does not. Coconut oil is probably one of the closest oils to your skin and your body oil. It actually kept me from breaking out, believe it or not. So I remove my makeup and I moisturize with coconut oil, and I also wash my face with coconut oil. So I'll put oil all over it and just rinse it with lukewarm water and cold water, and it removes everything. So my skin has improved. I've had lots of energy. I could work out longer, and I noticed this year I bumped up cardio. I never liked cardio. I hardly did cardio. I've always done strengthening and exercise. I always kept myself semi-fit because I do work in physical therapy. I'm a physical therapist technician. I've always worked in that or the nursing profession. So I used to be a nurse, and from that I transitioned to physical therapy. So now I have a lot of energy to do cardio, and I noticed that my cravings are also going away. So I'm not gonna say it's easy. At first, in the beginning, I craved a lot of the foods that I was used to eating, a lot of the fried foods, the cheeseburgers, the French fries, the pizzas, the Chinese food. A lot of those foods I craved a lot because I was actually going through a detox mode. So the first 3 months was really hard with the cravings, but yet easy in a way. Because what happens in the beginning when you're detoxing and you're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, you're eating a lot of fiber, so you're constantly eliminating waste. And I actually had a couple of my friends say, oh, I can't do this anymore. I'm constantly going to the bathroom and it's interfering at work. And that does happen. For me, it happened for the first 3 months. I was eliminating a lot. And that's a very important part of eating raw. You have to stick with it, and you have to go through that elimination, because what happens is a lot of us, the lining of our stomach it has a layer of mucus and gunk, and that lining in our stomach and also in our intestinal walls, we have that, and that actually avoids the minerals coming out of our food. It are supposed to be absorbed through the intestinal walls, and that gunk keeps it from absorbing. So that's why we're constantly hungry and we're constantly eating, because we are mineral deficiency. So during that time that you're transitioning, you're actually detoxing, and once all that gunk eliminates from the lining of your stomach and the lining of your intestinal walls, your body is able to start absorbing the minerals. Once my body was able to absorb all the nutrients from the fruits and vegetables, and not just eliminating those nutrients, once it started absorbing, I noticed that the cravings started disappearing. It was easier for me to eat raw and not get cravings. It was like probably one of the biggest breakthroughs in my journey of starting in my raw lifestyle. Thank God, because I thought the cravings will never go away, but they did. So stick with it. Don't give up. Realize that your body is going through a transition. And speaking of that, actually, that's another thing. I did a lot of research, and I found out that in eating raw, you tend to be more connected with your body physically, and mentally you connect more physically and spiritually and mentally with your body. You're in tune with your body more. And I used to say, I don't know if that's gonna happen, with me. I didn't realize that was a process of eating raw, that eventually you get to that point, until it started happening to me. And then I started all of a sudden connecting without realizing, mentally, physically, and spiritually with my body, which means that when you're eating clean, it's like blinders come out of your eyes, and mentally you're able to absorb information and think more clearly. So, and spiritually, you're more connected to your body. So it's kind of like three things: mentally, spiritually, and physically you connect with your body. So when I say blinders come off of your eyes, you're able to see clear. So you're able to see that before, I was like basically walking with blinders. I was feeding myself and I was getting no nutrients out of my food, but I was getting addicted to my food. I was getting addicted to fried, sugar, processed foods. All the chemicals kept me coming back and making me believe I was hungry, because there was no nutrients in that food. The nutrients was not absorbing in my body. So therefore, I was just becoming a waste, just like a big waste for this food, instead of nourishing my body with minerals and vitamins. So that's when the blinders come off. And now I look at food and I know what's going to feed and nourish my body, and what is going to make me feel sluggish and depressed and down and not give me energy and not feed my body. And mentally, you think clear. You think clear, and you're able to make decisions on clarity and thought and not on emotion. So that's what I noticed the difference. And I realized, oh, that's what people mean when they talk about thinking and having that clarity. So now when I'm making a decision about something, or having a conversation, I'm able to speak clearly, and I'm able to process information without being emotional about anything. So that's awesome. And when the physical part, that you connect with your body is amazing, because when you're hungry and you're physically craving food, you actually start looking at fruit and vegetables and what you're craving. If you're craving greens, it means that your body needs some nutrients, some minerals from those dark greens. It means that your body is asking you for proteins and omega fatty acids from the dark greens. When you crave fruit, you realize that your body needs carbs, that it needs these carbs from the fruits and the sugars for energy. So that's how you're physically more connected to your body. Physically, you know what your body needs. When you're craving exercise and you want to do something, your body's asking you for strengthening and cardio. So that's how you connect more physically. I hope you guys are able to understand. Sometimes it's hard to explain it, but yeah. So I found out that in this year I'm physically, mentally, and more and spiritually more connected to my body. Spiritually, because you understand more. You understand people, you understand, you're able to process emotion better, you're able to process thought better, you're able to connect more with the earth, you're able to connect more with other people even though they don't eat raw. It's amazing. It's a wonderful feeling. I hope you guys get to experience that. Now, how I would recommend starting to eat raw, what worked for me and what didn't work for me. I want to talk about a little bit about that. I'm sorry and I do apologize for the video being this long, but it's very important that I do this 1-year anniversary video because I hope to encourage more people as well as my family. I do this for my children as well and for my grandkids. I want to encourage people to eat more fruits and vegetables in their raw form and nuts and seeds for better health. Okay, so how to start. I started this way and this worked for me. Not every program or every way works for everybody, but you have to alter it to what works for you. I follow a lot of people. I recommend that you follow Fully Raw Christina. She's amazing. She is 100% raw foodist. I also follow Raw Vanna, R-A-W-V-A-N-A, Raw Vanna. She's wonderful. These are two young ladies that eat 100% raw. 100% raw doesn't work for me because I noticed in the beginning my body needed salt. I wasn't getting enough salt. You can get enough salt from your fruits and vegetables, but you have to consume a lot. You have to constantly consume a lot of celery to get that salt and that sodium out of the celery, and a lot of dark greens, which I was not able to do in the beginning. But as time went by, I started doing more and more better. I educated myself a little bit more, but it doesn't work for me 100% raw. I'm about 75% raw, and that works for me. Meaning that when I go out socially, I occasionally eat steamed or grilled veggies, and I occasionally eat fish. So that's why I say 75%. At home, I'm 100% raw, but I do add some Himalaya pink salt to my diet, and we don't cook at home at all. So at home, we're 100% raw. When I go out, I give myself a little bit of leeway, and I also have wine once in a while. So, well, that's raw. That's nothing wrong with that. So I do enjoy that. So that when you start eating raw, what worked for me is at first, this is what works for me, and I recommend this for some people. I was a sugar addict. So I was addicted to anything with sugar. Sometimes I would rather have sugary sweet things than a meal because my body craved that. Meaning I've always worked in hospitals and facilities that always had donuts, bagels, all kinds of chocolates around all the time. Every holiday, every season, the patients and their families would bring us bagels, all kinds of sweets, donuts. They would always bring chocolates for everybody. So, and there was always some kind of party going on, somebody's birthday, some kind of celebration, a baby shower of our co-workers. So food was always abundant with sweets, cakes all the time. So it's very hard. It's funny that we work in the health profession, but this is the kind of foods that were coming in. So I became a sugar addict. I could live off of chocolates all day and hardly ever have a meal. I was living off of coffee with bagels in the morning, believe it or not. And these foods had actually no nutrients for my body. So you could imagine how toxic I was when I started eating raw. So what I recommend you do is you switch one sugar addiction for another. And that's how you won't crash and you won't fail at eating raw. Now, how you do that is you stop eating processed food and processed sugars completely. And you eat all the sugar you want, but it has to be in a fruit form. Your sugar has to only come from fruit. So that's one way of doing it, and that's what worked for me. So every time I craved sweets, I would go eat 4 or 5 bananas to get rid of that sweet and that craving for sweets. Or I would eat 5 oranges, or I eat 5 apples, or I eat a whole tub of strawberries, whatever it took to satisfy my sugar craving, and it worked. At first, when I started eating raw, I incorporated a lot of dates. I ate dates a lot because the dates were super, super sweet, and that really took care of my sugar craving. And as you continue eating raw, that starts going away because your body is using all that sugar, and it's taking the carbs from it, and it's giving you the energy so you don't crash, and it's taking the nutrients out of the fruits as well. And after eating my sweets, I will go into this savory craving. So now I get to the part where I'm craving salty foods. So what I did, what helped me with this part, was I incorporated celery a lot in my juices, a lot of celery in my foods. And I also incorporated gourmet raw foods. As you see, a lot of my videos in the beginnings, I try to mimic real cooked foods. I try to mimic them in raw foods. So I try to make sushi, enchiladas, marinated portobello mushrooms that mimics chicken breast. Eat a lot of gourmet raw food. That's what's gonna help you with the transition from cooked foods to raw meals. So I highly recommend you do gourmet raw at home. Watch my videos, watch other people's videos. I did a lot of research, I read a lot of books, and I watched a lot of videos on recipes, and I altered them to my taste. And I made a couple of those videos, and I will continue making those videos. I just been kind of busy traveling right now, and prepping for school, because I'm starting school, and my husband's also in school right now, so we've been really busy with that. So yeah, that's gonna make your transition into raw a lot easier. Eventually you stop eating a lot of the gourmet foods, and you stop eating so much sweet fruit, and you kind of start going more towards dense fruits that are less sweet. So you start eating more berries, you start eating more apples, more low glycemic fruits. And I also, in the beginning, had a lot of smoothies, and I made a lot of green juices, a lot of vegetable juices. But in the beginning, when I made my smoothies, I would add fruit always, you have to always add greens in your smoothies, because sometimes it's impossible to eat so much, 1 pound of dark greens a day, especially while you're working. My work schedule at the time did not allow me to sit down and really take my time to chew dark greens. So I would put a lot of spinach and or kale and dark greens in my banana and fruit smoothies. So in the beginning, it was hard for me to drink the smoothies because I was so addicted to sugar that the smoothies were not sweet enough. So I would add dates. So if you see my videos in the beginning, our favorite smoothies, my husband and I would add a lot of dates. And that's a lot of sugar. But the fact that it was all natural sugar kind of helped us with that transition. So now when I make my smoothies, I don't use dates at all. It's to the point that I put banana, strawberry, and spinach, and I don't need dates to sweeten it, and I use more greens and less fruit. So later on, as you're eating raw, the transition to less sugar in your, less sweet fruit in your smoothies happens. So make sure you do slowly transition away from the dates. The dates are delicious, but they should be used sparingly, like nuts and seeds. At first, I did not use them sparingly because I really needed that sugar. But now I do use them sparingly or in desserts. And also my green juices. I used to add a lot of grapes and a lot of sweet fruit in my green juices. And my carrot juice, I would add a lot of oranges to make them super sweet because I was so addicted to sugar, and that helped me in the beginning. But now in the last, I would say the last 6 months, I transitioned to using less sweet fruit in my green juices. So now I use more apples, less grapes. I use more in my juices, and I use more greens. So that's awesome. And also my smoothies, I use less fruit and more greens, but I still use enough fruit to make my smoothies sweet. So yeah, that's what's gonna help you in the beginning, especially if you're addicted to sugar. If you're not addicted to sugar, you'll have an easy transition. But remember, when you're eating raw, you have to eat a lot of fruits to keep your carb. You have to eat a lot. As the time goes by, you eat less. But in the beginning, you have to eat a lot so you don't crash or so you don't crave cooked foods. So, meaning that always keep your house stocked with a lot of fruits and vegetables. And always remember, you have to eat 1 pound of dark greens any way you want them. I eat half a pound in salads most of the days, and the other half in green juice and smoothies. So if I don't have time to sit down and eat a salad, I'll put them all in a smoothie or a green juice for that day. But you have to eat greens. You have to eat your vegetables. Do not eat them. Also, another very important thing, when you start eating raw, you don't eat, if you're going to start eating completely raw, you're not going to get a lot of fatty acids from meats and other foods. So therefore, you need to incorporate chia seeds and flax seeds in your diet. I highly recommend the flax seeds and the chia seeds and avocado. Those have the fatty acids that we need for brain function and for our heart function and for our muscles and our tissue in our body. And our muscles and our tissue need the fatty acids and the minerals in those foods. And a little bit of nuts and seeds. Incorporate those in your diet. Very important so you don't get weak and lethargic. That's something that I had to experiment with in the beginning, I was eating I tried to eat 100% raw, so I was eating all vegetables and all fruits only, and I didn't realize, after doing research, I realized that I needed chia seeds and flax seeds, because those fatty acids turn into proteins in your body. That's how you get a lot of your proteins as well. So the omega fatty acid 3s and your omega fatty acid 6s and your Bs. So that's very important. The next thing I want to talk about is one of the most important things about eating raw: affordability. Yes, this is probably one of the most difficult things that people have in eating raw. I know it was difficult for me. At first, I wanted to eat the best fruits and vegetables, and I only wanted to eat organic, and it became extremely expensive. So I had to do research. I had to find farmers markets. I had to not buy organic food if it was extremely expensive, and I had to settle for some of them being non-organic. And that worked for me. I started doing more research on non-organic food. So in other words, I could have bananas or oranges that weren't organic because they have the peel that protects the food from the pesticides that they use, and just keep the most important things organic. So that helped me making that choice and deciding. Also, what helped me is I started cutting back on a lot of things that were toxic that I used to use. I didn't buy lotions with fragrances no more. I started using coconut oil as lotion. I didn't buy makeup remover pads for my face to remove my makeup. So I cut back on that, and I had extra money for my fruits and vegetables. So I just use coconut oil to remove my makeup. So I cut back in that. I cut back buying cleaners that were toxic for my house. So I would make my own cleaner from vinegar, water, and baking soda and lemon. So that helped me making my own cleaners. And I don't buy Febreze anymore. I don't buy fragrance for the house because they're full of toxins. So that gave me the extra money that I would spend on these cleaning products and stuff, and on my personal hygiene products. I cut back a lot on that so I could afford to eat healthier. What helped me a lot is I cut back in buying clothes. I didn't need to always go shopping because didn't need to feel that need to make myself feel good eating or buying things anymore, because I was feeling good and satisfied and emotionally good from eating healthy, that I didn't crave to constantly go and buy stuff. Now I crave to go buy fruits and vegetables. So I cut back a lot on that. And so I had to alter and adjust my budget to give up a lot of things to be able to eat healthy. Really think about it. If you cut back on a lot of your makeup products, a lot of your lotions, a lot of your cleaning products, and try to make cleaning products for natural stuff that you have at home. Try to use coconut oil for your makeup remover and lotion instead of buying lotions with fragrances and stuff like that. All that you could cut back, and you have more money for your food. Look for co-ops in your neighborhood. Look for flea markets. A lot of flea markets have a little sections of farmers, local farmers selling their fruits and vegetables. That helped me a lot. So I go to my farmer's market every 2 weeks, and I pick up all my herbs and certain stuff. The rest, I found a local grocery store in my area called Aldi, and I think it's a European store, and a lot of their fruits and vegetables are organic, and that works for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this long video, and I apologize for it being long, but it is my 1-year anniversary, and I just wanted to make this video to kind of help you guys if you're interested in getting into the raw food lifestyle, and to show you that it is doable and it's not so hard, and be patient, stick with it, and hopefully you guys could start eating raw or incorporate more raw meals in your diet. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Thanks for your patience. If you like the video, please give me a like, thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll continue to bring more ideas and tips for you guys to eat your fruits and vegetables in a raw form. Also, follow me on Facebook, where I post daily information about eating healthy and pictures of my daily meals as well. So you guys have a great day, and once again, thank you so much for supporting me this last year, and I'm looking forward for another year of eating raw and staying healthy. So if you guys have any questions, please do leave comments below, and I would love to answer them. Also follow me on Facebook, leave me comments and questions there on articles or anything I post. I would appreciate that, and you guys have a wonderful day. Bye bye.